Yes, please.
ये आपने वाले पब्लिक की जुम्मा में जो खुलासानी में फरमाया था कि न्यूयॉर्क में खड़ी है जिसके वो कमेटी है जिसके
top scientists who are members of Paris, if you more or less. What do you want to know less about that law?
वो आपने जुम्मा में 2 मिनट रहते हैं.
I explained that. You know, it is not. Please sit down. He is referring to a clock which I mentioned in one of my sermons when I told the audience that there is a clock somewhere in New York or Washington, I don't remember where, but in America anyway, which is being controlled by some elite of the scientific scholars. For instance, as I remember, there are 12 Nobel Prize winner members who govern and administer the clock. Now that clock is a very simple affair. It's not run by machine. It is as simple as a child's clock. Only you move the hands with your own fingers and put them anywhere you please. But the minds which control those fingers, in fact, that clock is run by those minds. They are top experts on their subject. There are scientists as well as some other very highly scholarly people who know the world and what is happening around, some observers of political phenomena and so on and so forth. Now, whenever there are times of crisis in the world, they get together and judge how close the world has become to the ultimate catastrophe, that is the atomic warfare. And they, of course, move the hand of the clock with their fingers, backward or forward. But it is the mind which is controlling that. When they judge that time has come nigh, then they move the minute hand closer to number 12. Because our hand always remains very close to the figure 12. This they have decided that the hour has come for mankind. But whether the minute has arrived or not, this is to be decided. So I told that when I was studying the previous chart, I was surprised by a fact that when there was an anti-Ahmadiyya hostility on top, that clock, the minute hand moved closer to the 12. And when there were normal conditions, not because it was directly being controlled of this phenomena, but it coincided in a very strange manner that when there was peace as far as energies were concerned, that minute hand began to move backwards. So I told them that now the anti-Ahmadiyya sentiment is at its peak in Pakistan. The hand is moving closer and it's only left 2 minutes from 12 o'clock. That shows, I infer, that if it is not just a chance, if it is a sort of coincidence, which has also meaning, I didn't claim that positively this is a decree of Allah, but I said one is wonderstruck, one really wonders, that is it that Allah so governs things that when people want to destroy Ahmadiyya, Allah warns the world that by the same process you will bring about your own ultimate destruction. Because if you decide to destroy my people, then I will not let you live, because you can't live without purpose and without an objective in life. That was the inference I was drawing from that simile analogy of clock.
तो आप जैसा सनत है आपका पाकिस्तान में खान सुना जिसमें आपने दो का लफ्ज़ बहुत ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल किया है, दो खड़ी सब
ये तो मुहावरा है।
सर यह दुश्मन का सवाल है और दो कदम दो तीन पर है।
दो कदम वो मुहावरा है। You don't translate in the time period, either 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years. That is sending too far. दो कदम चलो, दो कदम जो गरीब के सारे क्योंकि भावने हैं ये जिसे वाक़ई को कोई दे लंबा समय मिलेगा। तो और दूसरे के कदम जो हैं they also mean differently from according to the people whom those qadam are attributed. There are giant steps sometimes, there are steps of tiny people, and there are steps of nations as well, not individual steps. So steps can be interpreted only when you know whose steps they are. If they belong to a giant, the steps will be very big, of course. And if they apply to a nation, they mean a different thing altogether. For instance, the same idiomatic usage of time has been is witnessed in the Holy Quran. Very soon, quickly, we are going to tackle you and be free to tackle you. Now that prophecy of the Holy Quran, applies to this ultimate destruction of the world which has not yet happened. And 1400 years ago, Allah said, "Sanaqru'u lakum ayyuhas saqalan." Then, about Qiyamah, Allah Ta'ala tells us that اقترب الساعة وانشق القمر. Moon has been observed split into two, and that shows that the day of judgment or the day of the doomsday has become nigh, very close. And what is very close? 1400 years ago, and still you don't know. So if the doomsday is to be interpreted according to the non-Hindu, then it is very close, is a very long period. Now when you say very close, very soon, a step or two beyond, in reality, these things do not indicate time, but certainty. Always, in every language, the true import of this expression is always certainty. That whether now or later, but this is positive, this has to happen, and nobody can change it. This is the real meaning of this. Not exactly the short-term period of time which you know.
क्या ये किताब का नाम बता दो जिसमें अकबर के बारे में लिखा हो?
First of all, tell me how many more questions you have to ask. So I can tell the others to wait.
I have only one more question.
After this.
Yes.
I'll protect him first, and then if nobody comes forward, then we start. Right? Sit close to the microphone.
Why there are different versions or explanations of some of the events that happened in the life of Prophet Muhammad, be peace upon him, in different books?
For instance?
Well, I was reading a book for Ahmadi children, and there was written that Prophet Muhammad and his party were resting on a certain place, and then he was hanging his sword on a branch, and he rested. He slept under a tree, and the enemy who had been following him, he wanted to have an opportunity to kill him. So he went into the place and secured his sword